Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the science behind professional mold remediation. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or restoration professional, my goal is for you to understand what mold remediation really is and why it's much more than spraying chemicals on visible mold. One of the biggest misconceptions in our industry is that mold remediation is about killing mold. It isn't. Professional remediation is about safely removing mold contamination while preventing it from spreading throughout the building. Think about it this way. If I spill dirt on a table and spray disinfectant on it, the dirt is still there. Mold works the same way. Even dead mold spores can still affect indoor air quality and trigger allergic reactions. Our objective is physical removal, not simply applying chemicals. Every remediation project starts with one question. Why is the mold here? Mold needs moisture, oxygen, a food source, and the right temperature. Buildings already provide oxygen, food, and ideal temperatures. The one thing we can control is moisture. If you don't eliminate the leak or humidity problem, mold will return no matter what products you use. Once the moisture source is corrected, contamination control becomes the priority. Mold releases microscopic spores that become airborne whenever contaminated materials are disturbed. Without proper controls, those spores can travel through the structure and contaminate clean areas. That's why containment is essential. We isolate the affected area using polyethylene sheeting, sealing doors, vents, and other openings. Think of containment as building a room inside a room. Everything that generates dust or spores stays inside that controlled workspace. Containment alone isn't enough. We also create negative pressure. Air naturally moves from areas of higher pressure to lower pressure. By lowering the pressure inside the containment, clean air flows into the work area instead of contaminated air flowing out. We achieve this with a HEPA-filtered air scrubber exhausting air from the containment. Many people think an air scrubber removes mold. It doesn't. It removes airborne spores and dust. Mold attached to building materials must still be physically removed. Personal protective equipment is just as important. Respirators, gloves, protective suits, and eye protection don't just protect the technician, they also prevent contamination from leaving the work area on clothing or equipment. Another important decision is determining what can be saved. Porous materials like drywall, insulation, carpet padding, and ceiling tiles often require removal because mold grows below the surface. Non-porous materials such as glass and metal can usually be cleaned, while structural wood often requires careful evaluation and mechanical cleaning. Professional demolition is controlled demolition. Every unnecessary impact releases more spores into the air. Contaminated materials should be removed carefully, immediately bagged, and never carried uncovered through clean areas. After demolition comes cleaning. This begins with HEPA vacuuming. Unlike ordinary shop vacuums, HEPA vacuums capture microscopic particles instead of redistributing them into the air. Every exposed surface should be vacuumed before detailed cleaning begins. Cleaning is primarily mechanical. Depending on the material, this may involve damp wiping, brushing, or sanding. The goal is to physically remove contamination. Antimicrobial products may be useful after proper cleaning, but they never replace physical removal. Spraying chemicals over visible mold is not professional remediation. The final step is verification. A successful project isn't measured by how quickly demolition was completed. It's measured by whether the area is clean, dry, and free of visible contamination. When required, an independent post-remediation verification confirms that remediation goals have been achieved. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this. Mold remediation is a scientific process. Containment controls contamination. Negative pressure controls airflow. HEPA filtration cleans the air. Mechanical cleaning removes mold. Moisture control prevents it from returning. When all of these principles work together, you've completed professional mold remediation, not just cleaned mold. If you found this presentation helpful and want to learn more about mold remediation, indoor air quality, and restoration science, follow FL Mold Testing for more educational content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.